This is fine. This is a poor substitute for therapy, but an excellent substitute for other podcasts.
We're not like other podcasts.
Join us as we find the answers to the universe's biggest questions like, is butter a carb? Does crying burn calories? And what the fuck am I doing with my life? We're here to be your part-time therapist, astrologer, concierge doctor, and fairy godmother. Do you need someone to validate you today? Cool. Come on in. We're fine. This is fine. My beauties, bienvenue encore. It's your host, Dominique here, and I am so fired up today for all things luxury, glamour, elegance, and indulgence. In other words, welcome back to another episode of Niche Luxury Hot Girls with Caroline Stern, hot girl anthropologist, and our fearless leader on TikTok and in the world at large. If you need to get up to speed, or you're like, what's a niche luxury hot girl? Pause real quick and head back to episode 33. You'll get an explainer and some background so you don't feel so out of the loop, okay? We want everyone to feel welcome and comfy cozy here because, as Caroline says, you're home now. If you are up to speed, hello, niche luxury hot humans. Caroline here is our Carrie Bradshaw, so to speak. Niche Luxury Hot Girls, NLHG for short, is Sex and the City, the column. And I think that makes This Is Fine podcast the New York Star. So we've got a trifecta here with our expert and our column. Let's get into it and get Caroline on the line from Boston. Caroline, welcome back. Are you fine today?
I couldn't be more fine, only and solely because we are doing this catch up. If that was not being asked to me and you were not in my sort of essence today, would not be fine.
Hanging on by a thread, but I love the term in your essence, or you're in my essence.
You're in my essence, and that is the only thing making me fine. So thank you for granting me that.
Right there with you, my Jewish sister in Christ.
Like, we need all of the emotional matzo ball soup essence.
Oh my God, yeah. So as our listeners do not know, I have 2 quarts of matzo ball soup arriving momentarily. It's one of those days. And we are doing our best. We are focusing on the
We
fine.
call that a cheap thrill.
in the vocabulary of the niche luxury hot girl, a cheap thrill.
A cheap thrill.
Honestly.
Most of all soup by the quart.
By the quart. And of course, in your honor, I did also order a Dr. Brown's soda because I haven't had one in so long. And every time I see you, I'm like, oh my God, I need a black cherry.
Honestly, I pulled one out of my tote bag the other day in a moment where you would never expect one to have, a Dr. Brown's black cherry soda in a tote bag. And
just whipped one out.
Just whipped one out. And my friend was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, you never have the right beverages at your house. And she was like, what are you? And I was like, you know what? Like, this is me now. And I'm embracing it.
This is my full essence. I'm no longer hiding.
I'm like, this is my essence. I'm coming out of the closet. Like, this is me.
I'm a bring your own beverage girl.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I like what I like. I'm a tastemaker for specifically niche beverages. But like, the way that I get so starry-eyed when you send me a picture of anything cherry and I do the same thing to you. And I'm like, this is our love language.
An affinity for cherry is really the glue that bonds friendships.
I would say. And it's funny because I actually saw a TikTok about these 2 girls that kept sending each other back and forth ratatouille things because one of them like thought the other one just loved ratatouille and vice versa, but actually neither of them did. Neither of them did. And in my head, I was like, that's something Dominique and I would do where like maybe like one of us would find something really random and niche, like a piece of like papyrus paper to write on and scribe.
An assumed commonality.
And we'd be like, oh, look. And then like years down the road one day when we, are sharing a hut and we have our dog children together and we discuss and then like, yeah.
The storytelling.
Was the full circle. I'm like, that was the full circle. I ran out.
It took so many turns.
I'm like, that's it. We're fine. But this is like, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at right now. And like bringing it back to our specific niche beverages, I feel like you are also one of the girls who needs a hydration, i.e. emotional support water bottle, a caffeination, i.e. an iced coffee or an espresso or a macchiato or a cappuccino. how many espresso beverages can I list?
I'm like,
and then you need like a fun beverage, like something sparkling and flavored and lovely, like a black cherry soda or a butterfly pea flower lemonade or some kind of mocktail.
You hit the nail on the head.
Thank you.
There's a, you know, a trio, if you will. It's like when you put those rings together in like superpower movies and they connect, like the sidekick but think of it as three, like a triangular, almost Illuminati of beverages.
The trifecta beverage Illuminati.
The beverage Illuminati for me is exactly what you mentioned. It is a freezingly, almost like painfully experiential water presence, like in my day where like it's so cold. I cannot, I'm a water sommelier by accident. I can taste
the difference.
And so the only thing that makes it, you know, enjoyable if that I have to have Brita water is ice. I'm like, this is passion. I wish you could see.
Make it subarctic.
I'm like, I want glacier water. And then, of course, like you mentioned, a hot coffee. I'm really currently going through a phase of the like barista collection of Nespresso pods, which is like the vanilla custard flavor, caramel cookie flavor, and hazelnut muffin. So, you know, we hit that about 3 times a day.
Absolutely. I loved the Pierre Hermé Nespresso. Have you had those ones? They were like limited edition.
Oh, have I?
Of course you have.
What a treat. And honestly, have looked for them, haven't been able to find them, debated looking on like, eBay? You know, not the dark web, but I would go to eBay.
Like if I was to use the dark web, it would be to find niche luxury Nespresso pods.
Everyone's like, literally, I'm like, this whole scene is playing out in that would be a great, if we could take over SNL, that'd be our skit.
Oh my God. I wish that we were like those 3 like teenage boys. They're probably not teenagers, but you know who I'm talking about. Like the new guys.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The new guys.
That would be us.
Like, one day we will keep manifesting. But I mean, like, I manifest over my glacier water and my hot coffee. And then the third beverage is, you know, it alternates. I feel like I'm ready to make an open statement that Olipop is better than Poppy.
100%.
Yeah. So like,
cherry vanilla Olipop.
I'm coming out. Cherry vanilla Olipop. I'm coming out and saying it. It's the best one.
The best.
So
undisputed.
Like, that's my third beverage. And I want to know yours. Like, I need to know your 3. And apparently
exactly that.
It's undisputed. That checks. That like, completely checks.
I'll have to send you a video from when I was like stocking my fridge one week as if I was like a fridge stocking influencer. And it was just like 12 cherry vanilla Olipops.
Oh, did you do that thing where people like get little plastic bins to put things that were already made of paper?
Girl, you know I did. Like
that is up there for me. Like now that I am #laid off, which we can get to.
Oh yeah. Mental health state of the union.
I'm like, we'll get there. But now that I have that time on my hands, I'm like, you know what? Maybe now's the time that I organize my fridge by labels. Like, why not? So I get it. And
I'll send you a template, girlfriend. Like, you've got a Virgo friend in me. Like,
I'm like, and I love that for me. I've been attracting a lot of female Virgos lately into my life. And I feel honestly like I've been bestowed by a gift from the cherubs because.
Do you feel like you got a bunch of like really aggressive fairy godmothers?
Kind of, but they all like love me more than I love myself. And they all are like, don't talk about my friend like that. But it's me that they're talking about.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
They're putting all the love they wish they could put into themselves, like into you.
I know. I'm like, my cup is filling up while theirs is being drained around me.
So
but I'm filling it back up though with my Taurus love.
It is reciprocal. I know. Every Virgo girly needs a Taurus girly.
We should put that on a shirt. I don't know how many people would find it, but like, okay, well, we'll look into that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. So our agenda for today, I'm just going to like quickly like just overview what we're going to talk about today. Of course, we're going to start this out with things niche luxury hot girls are loving right now. That's what we're all here for. Like, we want to know Caroline's forecast. Then we're going to get into some hot girl anthropology with our certified hot girl anthropologist of This Is Fine. Then we're going to get into some spring themes. Like, it's April now. We're going to talk about like some spring niche luxury hot girl themes. Then we're going to look at the season ahead, a niche luxury hot girl summer forecast. And of course, we'll conclude with a mental health state of the union. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds so good. I have so many things to talk about
So many
within these
things.
themes. So many things.
All right, let's just get into it. First thing up, things the NLHGs are loving. Where do you want to take this?
Well, the NLHGs have just been absolutely feral because whatever is going on, like the people have been really dedicated to this little community and feeling really understood. And it is allowing me to really understand, like, who are we and what do we like? And am I a niche luxury hot girl or am I just an anthropologist? That we will get to.
I think you can be both.
You can be both, which there's a background story, which we'll get to. The things that niche luxury hot girls are loving. Of course, we obviously historically have already talked about, you know, the notes of cherry, the notes of pistachio. Those,
yes, fragrance.
They came and they gone. They came and they gone. But, fragrance. But there are a few themes I'm seeing lately in fragrance. I talked in the last episode about celestialism within fragrance, like moon scented kind of like essence within fragrance. I guess essence is the word of the day today as well.
Yeah, love it.
But a weird trend, not weird, but a trend that I'm starting to see is the common garden food reimagined into luxury. It is hitting in scent and it is hitting in fashion. And I feel like it's going to somehow turn into a trend within things that we love. Think like tomato being a note in fragrance. The gourdification of Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton came out with these gourd bags. They also have hanging planters.
Yeah.
I'm seeing perfumes and fragrances that have like artichoke as a note.
Like carrot.
But like carrot, yes. Like it's almost like a vegetative gourmand.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
Same.
But I know that something is coming and I just need to say it on the record that I sense
you're spotting.
Like Veggie-gate, you could maybe call it. I think we can probably think of a hotter title than that. But I'm sensing that that's coming, as well as obviously on that spectrum, we have, let's say, something that's a little less obtuse, a little more whimsical, like a garden fruit reimagined in some sort of scent that smells like someone gardening. Like, I feel like we have so many scents that are coming out that people are loving with these, like, kind of crazy background stories. Like, I don't even know if you think of Moon Carnival or Poets of Berlin by Wilhelm that are like getting such a resurgence. It has these storytelling elements. Even Valaya from Parfums de Marly, like the story of a woman. So I feel like storytelling within fragrance is getting bigger and bigger. I just got Diptyque's newest scent,
Papier? Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It smells like apparently what putting pen to paper smells like.
Does it smell like that?
Well, it smells like warm rice pudding and like...
Interesting. That's not what I expected.
No, it has warm rice as one of the notes. As one of the top
now
notes.
I want rice pudding.
I know. I want rice pudding too. And it smells like warm rice pudding and like the lingering touch of a lover. But it isn't really either of those because it's supposed to be paper, but it's these trends in fragrance. I feel them coming. The hot girls are loving storytelling through fragrance. I also feel like the hot girls are loving shifting a little bit of the whole dialogue around like the very delicate, cute little jewelry I'm seeing a resurgence in the really like overdone and like I'm almost cringing thinking about it, but like the statement necklaces of the 2000s.
Oh no.
Like I've been seeing a resurgence. Think the J. Crew bubble necklace of 2011. I'm seeing modern renditions. The same thing goes for that black, little, what's it called? Velvet choker necklace. There's this new one that I keep seeing on these very like niche, hot, cool Swedish girls is exactly that with the giant like velvet rose adorned on it.
Whoa.
And it's like I keep seeing it popping up everywhere. So I'm interested to see if the 2000s is making a resurgence in that way through the niche luxury hot girl community.
What kind of freaks me out about that is like the speed of the trend cycle. Like those things were cool like is it 10? Yeah, like about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And it usually takes like 20 years for
Yep.
trends to come back around. Like I feel like we're still in Y2K stuff, which like feels comfortable, normal, and safe. But then this is like really fast. I've seen like some mermaidcore stuff, like sirencore. And I'm like,
Okay, so it's so funny you say that because I was just about to say mermaidcore.
oh my God. Okay, yeah, we're on the same page. And I'm like,
no, we're
this
so
is too
on the same
soon?
page.
This is too soon.
No, it's too soon. Like I am seeing it, but I'm telling you, I'm going to send you some stuff later on to show you some of these examples. And I think you're going to be haunted by what you see. For me, it was too close to home.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to relive the mid to early 2000s yet, truthfully. So I'm also agreeing with you so much in sirencore and mermaidcore and like the concept of like being that sort of like beachy coastal girl.
Yeah.
I think I know I called it obtuse hot girls last time. That is not a knock to obtuse hot girls. It's just obtuse hot girls. You will see the trend. I see it too. The apparently coastal cowgirl trend.
Oh, I
is
saw
all
that.
over TikTok. That is not for us.
That's not for us.
That is not for us. I mean, we can dip our toesies in, but like, you know, we're gonna go maybe a little bit more like garden whimsical mermaid coastal core.
Yeah, like cottagecore mermaid versus cowgirl mermaid.
Exactly, and I think there's gonna be like a resistance, but I'm excited to see how it pans out. I would say as well, I think that the hot girls are almost like taking a break from finding a bunch of new things. I feel like people have been really loving what they're loving, because I feel like there's this shift lately in the atmosphere of people really wanting to take breaks on spending. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of content around that as well.
Totally.
But I really love it. And I honestly think that like having to grasp for new trends is so refreshing because it means like we're all sitting still for just a second before spring and summer resurgence. But of course, it doesn't negate the fact that mermaidcore is, and, you know, celestialism creeping in.
Fully creeping in. I'm like, my entire personality in like 2012 was mermaids. And I don't know if I'm ready to like relive that trauma.
I feel the same way. Like if you were a girl that desperately wanted to be aquamarine, like your time's coming again. You have a second resurgence. It's like your Saturn return, but different. Your aquamarine return.
This is very Saturn and Pisces, honestly. Like Pisces is the mermaid of the cosmos. So, I mean, I kind of get that.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. And honestly, special that you say that, because Petunia is playing with a stuffed lobster in the corner. And I'm like, am I the mermaid? And she's a little...
She's your flounder?
And it's also ironic because I just got a new perfume from Roja. Have you ever tried Roja?
No, tell me more.
Okay. It is so interestingly niche because I like to do this fun game that I play by myself called sorting from highest to lowest on websites. It's a fun game where I really gaslight myself into thinking that one day I will be able to just search highest to lowest and go backwards on a site and look at the new arrivals and the bestsellers. And Roja, every site I go on, highest to lowest, is like this perfume that ranges from like $3,500 to $10,000 a bottle.
Oh, Jesus.
And I know it's absolutely wild. The creation process and apparently, you know, what goes into it, I don't even know. It must be like some sort of mythical witch that lives probably
brewing a concoction,
brewing in the Roja, you know, whatever. But they came
How do you spell it?
Roja.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Roja perfume. Okay,
and look up,
I'm pulling
it
up.
So okay, pull it up. So it's the scent I got is called Oceania. Oceania. It's Oceania, and it is not thousands of dollars, but it is the most expensive fragrance in my collection now, and it is a $380 perfume, which is crazy. I will say, I didn't buy it; it was provided to me. But
lay those notes on us, girl.
I'm like, I am providing, it's for research. So I think what's really fascinating is it's a write-off for, of course, research. What I think is so interesting is creeping in with the ocean core new arrivals from these brands. Is it giving mermaid?
Ah,
like a full circle
yes.
loop. Like, I'm just like, is it really creeping up?
I'm
Yes.
looking at their Isola Blue right now, and I'm like, oh my God, I need that. And it is giving
Yeah.
mermaid. Like
It's giving mermaid.
lemon, bergamot, lime, apple, coconut, orange blossom, champaca, cut grass, pink pepper, and leather.
Cut grass is such an interesting note, but I think I think we all need.
Feels cottagecore mermaid to me.
To me too. And the Oceania, I really need to figure out how to pronounce that. This is a citrusy cocktail of lemon, grapefruit, mingling with bergamot, mandarin, and lime, and aromatic herb notes. And it's like, so tell me you smell like a garden without, like an ocean garden.
Like a Mediterranean garden.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like the perfumes, the trends, they predict themselves. Like, we're merely reporters.
That actually reminds me, like, I want to assert a hypothesis for you to review. I think that orange blossom is a hot girl flower and scent, and I'm probably just saying that because, like, I use this podcast to convince people that I'm cool and everything I like is cool and chic and hot. But, like, do you think I'm objectively correct?
No, literally, I wish you could see me. I have, as Nina would say, full angel bumps all over my body because I literally had a stoic moment in my sit-down shower, which is just my shower that I sit down in. I like to blast the hot water and put some essential oil on the floor and sit in there. I put some orange blossom oil in there, and I was sitting thinking about how I had picked out my French mints for the week, and I had decided to, instead of get rose, I got orange blossom for the first time. And within those thoughts, I was like, are we loving orange blossom? And then the same thing happened where I was thinking about Oriana from Parfums de Marly, orange blossom note. I was thinking about Valaya, orange blossom note. I was thinking about
Safenade.
Safenade. Ellis Brooklyn just came out with a new scent called Florist, orange blossom. And I literally was like, no, it can't be. It's too obvious. But I had the same thought you did. I was like, it couldn't be because just, Dominique and I love orange blossom, but that can't be. But you know what? You heard it here first, and I'm saying you predicted it because I fully agree. Orange blossom is like, I think we're going to have like orange blossom appearing in everything somehow.
It's just gorgeous. It's so delicate and gorgeous. And I think I told you this. I literally bought a whole ass orange tree. Like, I bought a giant tree so I could smell real orange blossoms in my yard. Like, that's how unhinged I am.
No, that's not unhinged. That's self-care. That's self-care.
Buy yourself a tree.
I'm like, that's literally me every day. I'm like, that is self-care and medication, buying yourself a tree. And honestly, I don't know if you know, but scent takes a different neural pathway to the brain than any other, ability, if you will.
Sense,
any other sensation. And like, you can actually change your mood with scent. So really, by putting an orange blossom tree in your backyard, you're basically doing yourself a favor, and it's free therapy.
Oh my God, you're so right, because it did cost about as much as one therapy session.
See? So there we go. That's a full circle moment. Speaking of full circle moments about oranges that actually led to manic breakdowns, have you ever seen that? Yeah, I'm like, exactly. Have you ever seen on TikTok that orange video of like the very succulent orange that has like a white powdered sugar on it, and they pick it from the tree and like squeeze it? Have you ever seen that? Oh God. Okay. I'm going to need to find that. I'm going to send it to you. Apparently it's a lie. This
it's not
video
real.
of this special orange went viral, this special orange tree. Apparently it's like people, I can't remember where in Asia, apparently people in Asia were like painting these oranges, and they're not actual oranges. And these people were like traveling far and farther to find these oranges, and they're all a lie. So that broke my spirit completely. And I'm also on the shower, eating an orange in the shower Reddit group. So it's like, have you ever been in that group?
No, I just like eat sumo mandarins by myself at home. So it feels relatable.
No, you got to join this group. I'm going to put you in touch with people. The concept is, when you eat an orange, your fingers get all sticky and the juice goes everywhere. Yeah. What if you just ate that orange in the shower and you got to omit those horrible,
That sounds like a veritable depression shortcut, and I'm here for it.
It is. It's an entire extremely large community of people advocating for eating oranges in the shower.
That sounds like a fragrance that you need to develop based on these two stories, like special orange in the shower, something like that.
Oh my God. Yes. No, it's like that brand. What's that brand? État Libre de Orange.
Oh, État Libre, right? État Libre
d'Orange. It's d'Orange.
It's Free State of Orange.
Yes, it's Free State of Orange. Yeah. We should send them this podcast.
The template? Yeah.
Be like, look.
This podcast is the template.
I'm like, there you go. They have a really interesting scent I just figured out. I think it's called Frustration. And it smells like human secretions. Yeah, exactly. I know. Okay. I'm like, that's neither here nor there, but I mean, that is niche. Know that it exists. That is niche. They also have frustration, human secretions. Like, oh my God, that is niche. We're going to need to do, I think, a live smash or pass with niche fragrances sometime where we have the same vials of, right? The same vials, and we can just live smell them for the first time together.
We're going to have to do that on video. I like this concept.
I like this concept too. There's a lot. And so I think
there's a lot to cover.
There's a lot to cover. So it's like between the perfume trends, though, the niche luxury hot girls, the mermaidcore, I'm excited to see what comes about. I also think that you, as the niche luxury hot girl mayor, you're the mayor.
My most honored title.
I mean, it's true. You own this city, and I would love to know if anything stands out to you. I keep hoping one day that you'll tell me calligraphy is like coming back or something really
I love that.
Random. Because I know you say we're on the brink of a modern renaissance all the time. So I've adopted that. I've adopted that into my language. I say it all the time.
Oh my God, thank you.
I don't even know if it's true, but all the time I'm like, yeah, we're on the brink of a modern renaissance.
Well, I think you're right about calligraphy, and maybe not that as the specific trend, but as like a subcategory of the trend of like screen-free hobbies. I think that is a thing that we're getting into more. Like even just like with fragrance specifically, it's something that doesn't involve necessarily using social media or your computer or your phone. And it's something that's tactile, sensorial. Like you can experience it and sense it in the real world. Like you cannot replicate scent online at all. Like it's something that you literally cannot recreate. So I think that's part of an overarching trend of screen-free hobbies and activities that people are getting into. I see people learning new things like taking up tennis lessons. You know that I've been learning ballet. I think calligraphy would be another amazing thing. And it's just getting back in touch with like our body and surroundings apart from our phone. I feel like that is going to be a bit of a trend. Kind of what you were saying with like the pause in consumerism as well. I think we're kind of like unplugging to reconnect with ourselves a little bit.
Amen to that, sister. I feel the same way. Like I have nothing but exactly that sentence to say to honor what you said, because I feel the same way. And I think that maybe will tie back into the mental health state of the year.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
And so we'll circle back on that. There's so much to cover. Hot girl anthropology.
Last thing I want to say about fragrance is I think I probably sent this to you, but I saw this tweet a while ago that like now people are like, what's your big three in astrology? And it's like, oh, this is my sun, moon, rising. I think the tweet said, and I agree with this, that your big three is going to eventually become like, what are your notes? Like, what are your favorite fragrance notes? And I think the more that fragrance becomes like a more mainstream, is it a hobby or like a passion, an interest, a lifestyle, whatever we're going to call it. I think people are going to start to get in touch like, oh, what are your notes? Like, I didn't realize how much I loved patchouli. And like, that sounds weird for me, but like, I love it.
This is an amazing prompt though, that I feel like we need. I think what we should do, hear me out. I want to hear what you think my three notes would be on the spot. And I want to tell you your three notes on the spot. And I haven't thought of them. But I just I think we have to do it.
Immediate marshmallow.
Okay, is that my base note?
It's tough to say because you have fragrances that have both base and top, I feel like, with marshmallow. But like there's definitely marshmallow because you are the gourmand queen.
Thank you, marshmallow. Yep.
And I keep coming back to orange blossom, even though I wouldn't say that's necessarily like your defining note. Like I'm like, how do I get like a gourmand? There's got to be pistachio. I don't know if this is like...
I love that you picked orange blossom.
Okay, great.
I'm like, I love that.
I'm
for
like,
me.
okay, orange blossom, marshmallow, and either like pistachio or cherry. But I feel like, okay,
Ooh.
when you are like feeling like, okay, this is like my confident scent of the day, I feel like you often go for that rose vanille. Is it Montal?
Montserrat.
Fragrance? Montserrat. Okay. This is a tough one for me, but I'm so certain about like marshmallow or whipped cream in there somewhere.
I feel fully confident that marshmallow and like chantilly cream 100 or whipped cream 100% in my
that's like
repertoire
for
of that.
certain. And then like I know that you like kind of like there's is it lychee and Delina exclusive?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like lychee and or cherry. I feel like cherry right now is more of like, this is like my flavor of the season versus my forever. But I feel like lychee could be part of it because it kind of has that same brightness, like that bright fruitiness, not like overly
I would
sweet.
pick lychee for me as well.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
You're doing amazing.
Thanks.
Like,
and then I don't know if it's orange blossom or another kind of floral. Like it could be like, obviously Delina exclusive has rose in it.
Oh, Turkish rose.
Like a Turkish rose would be so beautiful with lychee and marshmallow. Is that Oriana? I don't know.
I was like, okay, well, Oriana is orange blossom, chantilly cream, ambrette. I'm literally saying these off the top of my head. That's so scary.
Yeah. That's me with astrology. It's okay.
Raspberry. No, exactly. So, I mean, you're spot on. I think.
Well, thank you.
I think that I would love whatever that smells like. 10 out of 10. And I think for you, I feel really compelled to put vanilla, obviously, because you love Safanad, you love
I love
Safanad.
Safanad.
I just feel like vanilla is so like necessary because it's such a just like beautiful necessity. It's the thing that holds everything together in so many sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Madagascar vanilla though, like the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Madagascar vanilla. I do want to say patchouli because you love patchouli.
I do love patchouli. Yeah. It's in a lot of stuff that I didn't realize.
This is where we differ.
I know. It's a divisive note.
It is. It's like my cilantro, but
I hate cilantro. It tastes like soap to me. Yeah.
Exactly. No, we have that same taste thing then. But yeah, so I'm going to go patchouli. I'm going to go Madagascar vanilla. I want to say... like, I've spent time browsing your Fragrantica, so I'm like, I should know exactly the third. I mean, I could say jasmine. I could say also orange blossom.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You're not a gourmandy necessarily all the time. You have, like, a lot more of something that is more explorable and, like, a little perplexing than just like a straight sweet gourmand.
It's true. Like my gourmandy ones are like Coromandel, which is like, I mean, it has vanilla and patchouli in it, but it also has like neroli, rose, incense, I think tonka bean, white chocolate, amber, frankincense or benzoin. I can't remember which one that is. There's like a lot going on. It's complicated, much like my thought process.
It's stunning and beautiful. And I think we're going to go vanilla. We're going to go... what did I say? Why
patchouli.
Can I not remember? Patchouli. We're going to go vanilla. We're going to go patchouli. And I think we're going to top it off. Ooh, should we do amber? Is that
I feel like amber and vanilla kind of are like the same.
You're right. They're too
like
similar.
Profile.
They're both like base notey, warm,
no, I think you got it with
sweet.
like the white floral, like an orange blossom.
I'm sticking with the white floral. I'm sticking with orange blossom. I'm going to go vanilla base. I'm going to go... yeah, I feel good about that.
I feel good about this too. We're going to see if this exists.
I'm like, this is going to exist. And I'm excited because I would wear both Caroline or Dominique as a scent.
Oh my God, that's so like flattering because I know you don't like patchouli.
No, but I would wear it for you. And then if we could make Dan a scent as well.
Dan, I don't know if you're listening. He probably got so bored listening to us talk about notes.
I'm like, that's okay. But when he re-listens, Dan, yours is going to smell like a plumeria in Hawaii.
That's what I was going to say. Plumeria and like sea notes, like seawater notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like sand, like warm sand, granular sand.
Maybe like some like sandalwood, like woodiness in there, like beach wood.
Haven't touched the sand in 5 years.
Yeah, we're gonna start like a GoFundMe to just literally take Dan to the beach, which is down the street.
Literally, like next episode, I fly out to surprise him, and we all go to the beach
surprise guest
together.
in the studio.
100%.
Absolutely. Oh
Couldn't
my
be
God.
more excited. But that's Dan as a perfume. I feel good about all three of us. That was a great idea you had.
I think that was your idea.
I'm like, no, it was your idea. No,
I brought up like talking about like notes as your big three, and you're like, here, we're doing it.
Okay, no, you're right. You know what? You're right. I did do that. But the big three was your idea though. So like genius. I love
this was
prompt.
like synergy.
Which
okay,
reminds
everyone
me-
listening, listening, go figure out your notes right now.
Everyone figure out your notes. Maybe ask ChatGPT. I was asking ChatGPT a lot of questions earlier about
I'm so
perfumes.
scared. I'm so scared of ChatGPT. Like
I went on
I'm an old
TikTok
person.
Live. No. Don't be scared. It's so fun. I went on TikTok Live last week and I asked it to write me 2-person skits about a perfume store employee.
Oh my God.
And I asked it to give a horrific plot twist ending.
Oh my God.
And I acted it out on Live. And I don't know how many people were in there, but whoever was in there, like it was a show and a half.
I need to see this. How
I
did
have
miss
the live
that?
recording. I will send it to you. I
Thank God.
recorded it. I'm like, don't worry. I play 4 parts, even though I asked it.
I mean, this like performance is a brilliant segue into your career as a hot girl anthropologist.
That's so true. And okay, I need to give the background story of the anthropology. I think.
Yes. Yeah. Bring everyone up to speed because it's an inside joke until you explain it.
Okay. So everybody listening, I received an email from a journalist / podcast host reaching out to me basically saying, hi, let's for all intents and purposes give her the name Jane. That's not her real name. But let's say Jane reached out to me and said, hello, Caroline. I am a journalist and I am writing a paper or something, publishing something about the concept of hot girls and like content around hot girls. Do you think of yourself as some sort of hot girl anthropologist? And like, would you
Yes.
be open? Yes. And would you be open to sitting down for an interview, picking your brain about like the Niche Luxury Hot Girl series and like what a hot girl is, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I did not update Dominique yet on if I did the interview. This is live. I did get on the call yesterday, and it was a fascinating conversation about the concept of the hot girl as like a trend, and like, is the hot girl physically hot or is it a state of mental wellness? And hot girl anthropology, like she asked me like, are you not a hot girl to your knowledge and you are talking about hot girls, or are you the head bitch of the hot girls?
Did she say that?
Not exactly.
Okay.
So speak those words. I'm like,
That's a bold question.
I'm like, but she did say like, are you, do you consider yourself, the leader of the hot girls?
Or an observer.
Or an observer, exactly. And
right.
I had to, basically I left myself out of my body and was floating out above myself. And I was like, I don't know. I think both. But as a hot girl anthropologist, like, I think probably similarly to when you go undercover in the FBI, it's like you become what you're searching. And so I think this journey has led me to becoming a hot girl, but I definitely am an anthropologist of the hot girls, but not
Absolutely.
the obtuse hot girls. Like there is a different type of hot girl. It's fascinating. Though we also talked about in hot girl anthropology, is hot girl, like when we talk about like hot girl walks, hot girl things hot girls are loving, like Esther Monster has a series that are more like the LA hot girls, who I love.
I've seen that too, yeah.
Yeah, like my series was very inspired by that concept, which I've talked about in the first episode. But talking about like the hot girlism, like is that trend or that like speech, whatever you want to call it, going to be still a thing that we use, X amount of years from now? And it got me thinking, what about when we all used the term girl boss? Like,
right.
We
and now we're
loved
like,
girl
ew,
boss.
cringe. we
ate girl boss up and like put it on everything. Now I hear girl boss, I shrivel up and parts of me die inside. So it definitely got me thinking, like, is hot girl walks, whatever, going to be like, it's just a walk? But it's like, no, because I think that girl bossing was really alluding to the fact that women are still, not oftentimes the boss and are underpaid. But hot girls can just be a state of mind. It was fascinating, and I must know your take.
No, I agree with what you're saying. And I think about this kind of stuff a lot. I'm like, what are we going to cringe at decades from now or even just a few years from now? Which is a scary place to go because you could honestly like mentally paralyze yourself that way. But I do believe what you're saying about girl boss being related to being in the workplace and having a specific title, job, role, position is different than the way that we're using hot girl. Because like you said, it's not so much to do with physical appearance or conventional beauty standards as it is a frame of mind and a deliberate choice. I think it's more about confidence and owning your style and feeling proud about your taste and taking care of yourself, like when it comes to hot girl walks and just being proud of who you are. Like think about hot girls with IBS. We have a whole episode on that too.
Yes.
Like, it's just about like you're owning your beauty on different levels.
Okay, and I'm so glad you say that.
Yeah, I fully agree. I was
that's
just
what
on
I
that.
said, and I love that you said it with such venture. I said the same thing too about like, if calling it a hot girl walk and that association for you is turning your notifications off, putting on an outfit you feel a little bit more, elevated in and getting your steps in, then fine, call it whatever you want to call it. If it's a hot girl community, but for you, it feels like, elevating your most basic thing, like a washcloth, and that gets you to, be excited about washing your face. It's fun, whatever.
Exactly.
So it's like,
it's less about the nomenclature, right? Like it's less about what we're calling it and more about like the concept itself.
I literally said that exact sentence word for word. I literally said, it's not the nomenclature. I literally
said
up.
That.
No, I literally, hand to God on Petunia's life, was like, it's not the nomenclature. It's just.
Shut up. That's amazing.
That. I literally,
oh my God.
You did teach me that word though. You
did. I?
Yeah, you taught me that word. So
I use
it
Virgo.
all the time. It's super Virgo. I use it all the time. I've been doing this thing where I try to learn new words and repeat them at least 20 times a week to really get them in my vocabulary.
That's a beautiful hobby.
Thank you, Angel. And when you unknowingly taught me nomenclature, you would be, the end of the week, people were cringing. People were like, we get it. Like I was going out of my way to come up with uses of the word.
Ways to use it. I was like, so much,
this nomenclature has no place in the movie theater. And they were like, what? It was great.
Used in a sentence.
I know. I'm like, and now this word of the week is filial piety, which is, filio
is like, you like something, right? Wait, no, filio. I'm thinking,
I think
filio is like an affinity for.
Well, okay, wait. No, I think I need to respell it because I think you're spelling it PH in your head, which makes sense. It's filial piety.
Oh, filial.
Filial piety. I need to enunciate better.
IALPIETY. Like,
yep.
Like religion?
Yes. Okay. Filial piety it's a virtue of respecting one's elders. And like basically the just like dimension of like you grow up and then as your elders around you age, you have to just like respect and take care of the parent whenever they like your goal for existing is being able to do that. I think about it a lot as a woman with parents.
A woman with parents. A very relatable experience.
I'm like a woman with parents. I'm like, one day I'm going to have to take care of them, and filial piety. There, now I know I'm going to be able to throw that word out one day, hopefully in not a sad way, but nonetheless, not the nomenclature.
Not the nomenclature. No. Hot girl word of the week.
Ooh, I think that's a great thing to add, a hot girl word of the week.
Okay. Well, it's not well, maybe it is nomenclature because everyone else is just hearing it right now. But
no,
like, it can be
hot girl word of the week is nomenclature.
Okay, cool. We'll start there, and then next week is filial piety.
Perfect. Like everyone,
which is 2 words, but it's a concept.
It's a concept. Everyone send in your word of the week.
Love. Okay, so we kind of got into hot girl anthropology. Is there anything else you want to talk about as a hot girl anthropologist before we get into our spring and summer themes?
Well, I guess as a hot girl anthropologist, I am extremely curious. Okay, I have this weird sort of fascination and theory that I've noticed amongst a specific super hyper niche type of hot girl. I think that the hottest girls in the hot girlisms of like the type that I'm thinking about seem to not really care about clothes these days And I'm just, okay, like I know that seems so random and niche, but like,
no, I get it.
Everyone that I follow that I like really closely admire as that kind of person seems to just be really prioritizing like a good pair of jeans and a t-shirt, whatever it may be. Like it's very not style centric, and like their coolness and their like effortlessness and whatever it may be comes from like the adornments on their jewelry, whatever it is. And I'm curious if like there's some sort of like anthropological thing that I've noticed that is accurate. I need your opinion on that, because I don't know if I'm so off base and that's me just hoping that everyone's not.
I know. I'm like, please tell me how I'm hot because I've been wearing simple clothes.
No, that's me. Because I'm like, did I accidentally sell out the intimissimi boat neck shirt?
Oh my God.
It's cool?
I wish I bought that in Italy.
I know. I wish you bought
should
it
have grabbed. I know.
Okay.
You know me. I'm on for unrevealed reasons to the public currently. I'm on a no shopping.
Yeah, we can't talk about it at this time, but the nomenclature refers to to the fact that we will one day talk about it. But I'm like, these
to be
girls
revealed
are
later on.
To be revealed, and I want to be there live when you do. But
100%.
Oh, thank God. And but full circle moment, we will be wearing probably black t-shirts. And does that refer to, is the niche luxury hot girl really throwing out the concept of trend and like creating a wardrobe museum for almost like just a little bit of a nothing? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I have thoughts on this, and I'm glad you brought it up because it's not something I would have thought of. I think it's multi-layered. I think part of it is the fallout from obviously the pandemic, where we were just like, okay, elevated sweatsuits and not, focusing on fashion as much. I think second is the reduced consumerism and focus on the planet and other priorities, as well as financial wellness. I think recession is probably part of that. Layoffs. Inflation is insane. People aren't getting raises to match with inflation. It's rough out there. And then third, I think it is an iteration of kind of French girl style, which is always kind of cool, but I think maybe people might be leaning more into it now, where it's just like simple but done well. I think it applies to so many things. Like fragrance can have simple notes, but like blended very well or with really high quality raw materials, like it's really beautiful and different. Or food, it's really simple ingredients, but it's prepared so well and it's very fresh. So like the meal is exquisite. I think clothing can be very similar, like what you were saying. Like right now I'm literally wearing a pair of vintage Levi's that have been like tailored to my body so they fit perfectly, a very simple sweater and a very simple but like understated sneaker. And like that's so casual, like jeans, a sweater, and sneakers. But I'm like, I feel good in this. Like this feels polished enough and comfortable enough. And I think that, I mean, not that I'm like the exemplary
No, you
person
are.
for this,
You're the mayor. You are.
But I like what you're saying about like, yeah, just kind of dialing it back a little bit, focusing on simple. That's not to say that like there's not still room for like an outfit that slays, like over the top color, mix and match patterns. I love all of that stuff still too.
Yes, maximalism we love, but
yeah, we love a maximum moment.
But it's
I do appreciate like the refined simplicity.
I think it's funny too, like what you said about the concept of kind of moving the trends to go with the economy. I think immediately of like the French girl trend of everyone getting their nails taken off and like going natural because it's cost effective, but then calling it like French girl nails. And it's like, it's such a smart way to justify the fact that you aren't going to have, for at least for me, like pretty hands anymore, which not saying my hands aren't pretty, but I haven't seen my raw hands in like half a decade. And I don't want to know
in the cold light of day.
No, like I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So it's like, it's interesting. And I love this anthropological segment. I wish there was like a little like safari music playing in the background, but other
Dan,
than
are you on that one?
I'm like, Dan, add some jungle music of us, like, and somehow a video of us in matching outfits. Oh my God. Speaking of matching outfits, this is and kind of maybe hot girl anthropology, because we're talking about hot girls are evolved. We know this. We love ChatGPT. We know this too. And AI in general. I think and I don't know if we want to call this an anthropological forecast, but I do think that it's just like AI in general, and the hot girls are educated on the fact that like we want to do the most without doing the most. So AI is helpful for that. So with that in mind, I stumbled upon a wormhole of TikTok where people were getting AI headshots done.
Yes, you showed me.
And I, this morning, ordered my own.
Oh my God, you did it.
I did it.
Are we going to be able to show that to our listeners by the time this is published?
100%.
Fantastic. I will link to that in the episode description.
Apparently, I will get 500 of them and probably 3 will be useful.
Oh my God. It was so weird. Okay, I know that like we're embracing AI, we're embracing technology, we're embracing ChatGPT. I feel like my grandparents. I'm like so scared. I'm like, I don't trust it. I think it's going to take over. I don't like that it's like doing the things that humans can do, like with their art and their gift. I'm like, someone really like gifted and skilled, like spent years learning photography, and like not just any kind of photography, but portrait photography to like capture someone's essence. And now like an AI thing can do it in like 3 seconds for like $17. And like, obviously there's a huge benefit to the consumer, but I'm also like so scared. And I don't know how to, like, speaking of things that like we might like look back on in 10, 20 years and be like, what? That's how I'm feeling right now.
Oh,
and I like,
totally.
I don't know. I'm going to like maybe laugh at myself for being a silly goose or what if I'm right? And it's like scary. I don't know.
I think you're probably on the precipice of correctness for both because I feel like I feel like our species isn't, we shouldn't have something like this at our like probably like we
shouldn't have this.
We just have we always take a good thing and we ruin it. Like this is why we're not allowed to have nice things. Energy is like going to be our society with AI, I think. And I know we'll probably ruin things, but like for now, I too am like joining the wave of that, but I think
embrace
it's partially
it
because like I'm embracing it because it's like it reminds me of when I was a teenager and there was like that like chat butler where you could talk to like the thing.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Do you remember that? Did that just awaken memory in you? Yeah, like I always found that fascinating. So I think I love the concept of that. I also would always enter AIM random Yahoo chat rooms. Yes. So I think there's something, something
reminiscent.
Beautiful and reminiscent there. But I'm excited to see, if the world burns down. Or not from AI.
In the process. I love what you brought up about optimization, and I do believe that time is our most precious non-renewable resource, right? Like we never get our time back. So anything that we can do to free up our time, I think is great. I think I'm just afraid of how it's going to. I don't know. There's so much unknown, and obviously the unknown is scary. But as my new therapist said, the antidote to fear is trust. So maybe I just have to trust ChatGPT.
I was going to say, maybe we should do a second segment where we do like Dominique goes on a date with ChatGPT, and we can like set you up on like a picnic with the laptop, and like I'll be there, and we can have like Amarena cherries in a glass, and like you guys can talk it out. Like I don't know. God. I'm like it'll be okay.
Let's do it.
I'm like, why
I need
not?
to get you to California like ASAP.
I need to come for so many reasons. I actually found out I have a full circle, like what's it called? A full circle trip, a round trip ticket. I was trying to think of the term round trip ticket, but I was saying a full circle trip. I'm like, I have a full circle trip. No, I have a round. I'm like, that's kind of beautiful, but no, I have a round trip ticket to LA that I just have been waiting to use.
Wait, oh my God, that's so close to me. We need to handle that off air.
I know. We will handle that off air. Maybe ChatGPT will coordinate TBD. But
our new assistant, ChatGPT.
Our new assistant, the hottest girl of all. But I do like everything about that.
Your full circle trip, that reminds me, niche luxury hot girl summer. Like what's on the forecast? Did we cover it already? Like we talked about celestialcore, we talked about like mermaid cottagecore fusion, but like any fun plans or things that are coming up that you think are going to be influential to the NLHG community?
Okay, so I am going to actually almost turn it back on you and ask you the similar question, but I asked that partially because this is, for me, like what I've been seeing around me in terms of like just exponential like revelations amongst the community is I feel like summer is not just necessarily like a place and time to, find fragrances or whatever that we love, but actually like the more I feel like I just talk to people, it's like we are going to just have metamorphoses mentally. And so
Yeah.
I feel so
The
focused on
Renaissance.
that. It's the Renaissance. Like I don't know if I'm in like a little out of tune at the exact moment because like the hot girl in me is like, it's time to get out of my cocoon and heal some capital T trauma. And that's what hot girl anthropological summer is going to be. So it's like, is the
Wait, I
summer
love that for
forecast
you.
like, thank you, sister. But I'm like, is the summer forecast like the girls just absolutely embracing like everything that has been a little frustrating, for all of us and like having metamorphoses? Maybe like,
The girls are healing.
The girls are healing, like niche luxury hot girl summer healing.
It's a butterfly summer. If you're doing your metamorphosis in your little cocoon, you're emerging a butterfly and flitting around this summer.
I
love
also
that.
think that the hot girlification of mushrooms is coming. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually about to try those for the first time.
So am I. So am I.
Great. Like literally tomorrow. So
oh my God. See, it's like I'm telling you, we are anthropologists. We did not talk about this. Like hot girls are loving mushrooms.
Hot girls love mushrooms.
But it's
I don't know. Like what I could hate it, but I have a feeling I won't. So we'll find out.
We're gonna have to chat about that actually because I had to jump through gymnastic level hoops to secure these niche, these I would call niche luxury hot girl mushrooms. They literally, I had to jump through so many hoops to get the connection for the connection of the connection that does this. It's like a multi-level step. And then once I got allowed into the Instagram group, I saw the mutual followers of said person. And it was a ton of cool influencers. Not that I am one, but it was hot girls. And I was like, oh my God, the hot girls are doing mushrooms.
Yeah, you got to come to LA. You got to use your full circle trip.
I know. I got to get my full circle trip in. So I'm like, we're doing mushrooms, which again, psilocybin goes to mental health. The girlies are healing.
Oh, dude, that honestly is like a perfect segue also. I think we should still talk a little bit about summer, but I think the mental health state of the union,
I think so.
That's ideal. It's going hand in hand. There's too much of a Venn diagram. It's just one circle now. So
I agree.
Niche luxury hot girl summer is like a healing girl summer. For me personally, it's going to be an exploring girl summer. Like I want to get out and explore and experience different ways of life and culture. I also am full circle tripping back to full circle tripping was not intentional, but on brand with mushrooms. Full circle tripping back to our screen-free activities, which I think go hand in hand with both the mental health aspect and maybe a possible rebellion to AI. Like, yes, we're going to use AI to optimize certain things that we can't do. What's the word I'm looking for? Are certain things that we like can just automate. Something that's simple that we don't have to use like as much brain power for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So maybe the rebellion to that really is Renaissance. Like what can we create that AI can't? Like art and like moving our bodies and things that have nothing to do with technology. So maybe that really does go hand in hand this summer. Like a screen-free, trauma healing, mushroom tripping, exploratory traveling.
In our mermaid outfit. Yeah. It's funny though, because I can also foresee the divide between the hot girls, the ones that want AI and love like tech and the ones that don't. And like I show up to LA like as a cyborg and you
are an Aquarius rising, so that makes sense.
Literally my Aquarius rising, I have like one eye made of like a computer and you show up in a full like old-timey wig and it's just like that's the disparity. But I think that I fully agree with you. It's a healing girl, mushroom girl summer. We are like turning the cottagecore into the little mushroom house. Like, where do they live? I'm like, they're in a cottage, right? We're taking
like the celestial like cherub Renaissance mushroom vibe.
Oh, for sure. I mean, celestial cherubs definitely microdose because they are way too happy to not. I'm like, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks. So yeah, that's the summer, and mental health state of the union ties into that for sure. And there's a lot to cover in the mental health state of the union.
Yeah, like eating oranges in the shower.
I'm like eating oranges in the shower. Mental health state of the union. I'm like, so where am I at? So
yeah, where are you at?
So I have talked about it on TikTok. I got laid off last Tuesday, out of the blue. It's a not so fun story, but I was working in influencer marketing on the brand side. I've been doing it for a really long time. And unfortunately, this was second round of layoffs kind of out of the blue, and my whole team got dissolved. So that
shitty.
shook my mental health, but not as much as being love bombed the same week.
Oh God. Yeah. We've all been there.
I think that honestly, like, lay me off, take my employment, whatever, I'll figure it out. But the love bombing, like mental health state of the union, like I'm a little bit like I deleted all of my dating apps. Like mental health state of the
it's
union,
cathartic.
taking a break. It's cathartic. I think that like, oh no, I was just going to say like, I think that like more than ever, there's just this big uprising of people just like giving up and being like, you know what, I'm just going to live life on my own. And like, I just give up. And it's like, it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of like State of the Union acceptance. Like we've moved past like all the grieving process. And it's like, are we just in acceptance? Is that sad? Maybe. But like, I don't know. It's kind of cathartic.
Maybe it's not as sad as it is like, okay, like the apps aren't working for a lot of people. You're not the first person to say this to me. I've heard this over and over and over again, and people are like on and off of them. I re-downloaded Raya for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, better not. I think it's more in line with everything we've been saying about like, let's try to like make screen free great again or like something where it's like we're living in the real world a little bit more.
Have you seen that thing about the green rings?
No.
Okay, I cannot remember the actual like person that started it, so we're gonna have to look into that. But there's this movement going on that's supposed to be anti-dating app where you get like this green ring. It's like a rubber ring or something. Think of like the Live Strong yellow bracelets of 2006.
Oh God, okay. Yeah.
Think of that, but as a ring. And the green ring symbolizes that you're single and interested in someone talking to you in public.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah,
so it's like being on the app, but in real life.
Exactly. But it's like a good like indicator that you're open to, chatting with a stranger that is single too. And it's like supposed to be anti-dating app culture.
Wait, I love anti-dating app culture. This is exciting.
It's fascinating. So I'm like, we just obviously would take it to a next level and get full emerald bands.
I was just going to say emeralds.
Like, obviously. But I mean.
So we're getting an emerald ring.
We're getting matching best friend emerald rings. But I mean, it's also my birthstone. So that feels really appropriate.
It's spot on. I love it.
I mean, it's fascinating. I'm interested. But my mental health state of the union in full is like, I think I'm like ready to sort of unpack some stuff and see what I can do with that to be a little bit more of a trauma with a capital T. Maybe we take it to lowercase t.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, it's not something that you have to live with forever. Like maybe like if anyone listening is going through the same thing, like I feel like this is a really important topic to bring up. It doesn't have to be a defining characteristic or experience. It can be something that, maybe was defining for an era of your life, but then you extract what you need from it. You learn, you level up, and you release it. Obviously, that's not an easy one and done light switch kind of process. It takes a lot of therapy for most people, a lot of support from friends and family, a lot of tools in the mental health toolkit. But it's possible to leave that stuff in the past and not let it continue to be what tells your story.
That's so true. And I think it's so important to like really remember that you can start a whole new story if you want to.
Yep,
and
totally.
Like that you don't have to start telling your story by bringing up the trauma because you want to like give that trauma a seat at the table and make sure everyone knows that you went through it. But like maybe just sort of disintegrating that as part of the storyline and just being like, no, this is me now. And like, I'm going to be an active participant in my new life. And like, these are the things we talk about. These are our defining moments and characteristics. And that was not anymore a thing that I am going to think about. So it's like, there's so much to unpack in Caroline's mental health state of the union and probably a lot of people's mental health state of the union. I think
totally. And the self-awareness is huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, self-awareness is like a gift and also a curse because it makes regular therapy so difficult. It's like
Yeah.
cognitive behavioral therapy if you're already extremely cognitive.
I'm so cognitive.
Difficult. I know. I'm like, I'm so cognitive. But I'm like, I
Relatable.
think it is relatable for real. I feel like there's so many of us that are so self-aware and literally can like pinpoint our villain origin story or like the thing that, you
Crespin
know,
element.
I mean, sure, like a lot, tell me about it. But it's interesting because I don't know, for so many self-aware people, we're all like just grasping out for someone to tell us, like, okay, what do I do? So I think the
Right.
mental health state of the union is, if we had to describe it like in a few words, like a little bit drained, but very hopeful.
I love that. And I'm hopeful for you too. And I think a lot of people listening to this are probably going through a very similar experience where you are on the precipice of a big transition, a transformation. You know that some things need to change, or you want some things to change. You're ready for it. You're about to begin. I think you have tools in place, you have people in place that can support you. I hope that people listening are finding the same. If you don't have a therapist, this might be a nice little prompt for you to maybe explore that option. It could be a counselor, it could be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, an LMFT, whoever really works for you at this juncture. But it's important to have some form of support and usually some kind of objective outside source that can guide you through it. But these are all positive things, and letting go or kind of relegating your traumatic experiences doesn't minimize them. It doesn't mean like what's happened to you isn't that bad or wasn't, as intense as you believed it was or wasn't life altering. Like all of those things can be true. And you don't have to let it be your main theme or your main story anymore.
That was so well said and so just like it. Yes, because I'm just like, yes. It, just to close it off, I read a quote the other day and I think it was something, I'm trying to remember. I think it was it was either I sat with my anger or my hurt. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me her real name was grief.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
know.
beautiful.
I know.
No,
And
it's so true.
it's just like, that's so the case, I think, with maybe not anger, but, you know.
No, it's true. No, it's spot on for anger. It's actually something my old therapist used to say before he retired, that anger is usually an unprocessed emotion that's not anger, right? Like anger is
Totally.
unprocessed pain, unprocessed sadness, unprocessed grief. So it's hard. It's harder for most people to feel grief, pain, and sadness than it is to feel anger. Anger feels empowering, like you're in control, even though it's really not that. But it's a hard thing for people to face because those other emotions are so difficult to experience that we try to numb it or avoid it or process it via anger.
It's so true. And honestly, it's like, I think it feels like everyone is really kind of in a new headspace of like being really self-aware of what that is starting to feel like and like feeling their emotions and giving them a name. And it's
Yeah.
interesting to see everyone, maybe being a little bit more open. It feels like, to me at least, people are being a little bit more open. But it is imperative to me that you share your mental health state of the union.
Oh God. So easy for me to sit here and like let you do it.
I'm like, I know, but it's equally as important for me to hear yours because it's like we're a couple. Like you're the mayor, Like
and you're the queen.
Mayor. No.
So I all things considered, things are good. I have, again, a lot of things going on in my life that I will share publicly soon, and none of it's bad. It's just there's so much going on. So I'm like definitely overwhelmed, but I feel supported. I have great people, a great new therapist, yay.
Yay.
And things in place to help me, get through all of these things. But it sort of feels like I've taken on 4 people's lives at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I get through that season, it'll be a little bit easier. But I'm definitely feeling lots of anxiety around that and trying to do my best to mitigate those physical and psychological sensations and symptoms. Yeah, I'm definitely in like a kind of going through it, but not in like a bad or depressed kind of way. There's just a lot going on. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like my head's on fire. Sort of like the whole theme of this podcast, like the dog sitting in the house.
I love that meme.
Everything on fire. Yeah, that's me right now.
I think that you just do such a good job of like putting on whatever hat you need to wear for that minute though, and showing up
I'm
as
trying.
like, no, literally. I'm like, I picture you in like a little, I don't know what a podcaster would wear as a hat, but let's say a top
Headphones?
hat. Oh, or headphones. I'm like, oh, or headphones. No, let's go with the top hat. Like
The top hat works.
I picture you, but you just do everything, at least from an outsider's perspective. I mean, I talk to you every single day.
Every day.
But let's still call it an outsider's perspective. It's interesting to see, our mental health state of the unions that are, we're transcribing our own, but it's like from my perspective, I'm like, you're just out here effortlessly doing everything. And then, you can't talk about the things that you're alluding to now, but when you do, I'm saying now to anyone who comes back and listens, like the things that you're putting into place and just everything that you're doing to get to, whatever part of life you want to be in, like you are just doing it so gracefully. So I think you should be really proud of yourself.
See, you're who I'm talking about. The people in place who are supporting and helping me get through. Thank you so much.
It's the same for me as for you.
Yeah.
I hope everyone has a you.
We are a team for everyone listening. If you need support, you hit both of us up and we're here for you too.
Yeah, please. Like, I mean it. And I think that like the fact that there is, self-created communities of people that can say like, we are all feeling this way and we can like be there for each other, even if it's just like a quick message, like, that is crazy cool.
Yeah, I love that so much. And that's literally how our friendship started. And, we've never physically met in person. And like a month ago, we just decided we are friends now.
I'm like, well, we actually decided we were soulmates. But that's
to be more specific.
I'm like, well, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, to me at least it is, but whatever. No,
it's an extremely important detail.
I'm like, whatever. We're going to retire in, some farmland with our dogs, but it's cool. No, but for real, it's crazy the connections you can make if you open yourself up to AI. Just kidding.
To ChatGPT. Sponsored by ChatGPT. I wish.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I'm like,
someone sponsor us.
And like eventually there's a ChatGPT version of This Is Fine. It's just like, this is ChatGPT. Oh God.
That's my literal nightmare.
Oh my God.
And it's funnier and cooler.
I'm like, it's funnier and cooler and it's like super rich all the time. And it's like, it's not allergic to anything and it doesn't need therapy.
I'm like, is this one of those like waking nightmares from sleep paralysis or are we really talking about this?
It like shows up to the bar with other robots and it's like, let's go eat wings with our toes. I don't eat, salad. I'm like, in ours, the robot is also not like a girl's girl. I'm like, the robot is the anti-Dominique.
If you don't start like writing a book soon, I swear to God, like your brain is on a different level.
I'm like, like, do you not picture it? I'm like, I've had too much free time on my hands.
Again, your stories take turns that I never expect.
I know. I'm like, it's a twist for me too. I'm like, that's the marshmallow. That's the marshmallow in my fragrance, diorama, so to speak.
I'm literally crying.
I'm like, you get it.
I can't breathe. You get it.
I'm like, you get it. I'm just like, I'm nodding. I'm like, you get it. Oh, I actually have a really random question that has nothing to do with mental health, but everything to do with my mental health probably, which is cleaning supplies. Do you think that there is a place, like, do you think that there's somewhere in the world where like very gourmand and delicious cleaning supplies exist? And do you think like, why are we not talking about that more? Like, do you not feel like that's just totally lacking? I ask you because I was doing my, tri-daily clean as I do, at least six times a day. I call it the opening shift. I prepare the apartment for future me. And I was using my method spray and I was like, I wonder what Dominique cleans her kitchen with. I bet it smells like vanilla and like Italy and like,
oh my God, I wish.
And I thought to myself,
this is like, yeah.
What are the girls use? Like, what are the girlies use? What are the girlies using?
This is something I struggle with because I don't think it exists. I do have like the Clorox like coconut wipes for the floor, like for Swiffer or whatever, because like coconut, and then I have like Mrs. Meyer's that I rotate out, but it's rose or peony or mum in the fall. Like it's seasonal, right? Like a winter flower is peony, a fall flower is mum, a spring, summer is usually rose. And then I have like an oat blossom, like Mrs. Meyer's soap in the kitchen, but then I have diptyque hand soap in the bathroom. But cleaning supplies are tough because there's not like a huge, like, I would say luxury cleaning supply market as far as I know. If I'm wrong, someone please tell both of us.
Please tell both of us. Like,
actually, maybe I should cut this out of the podcast so we can like make it and we don't give anyone else our idea.
I know. Wait, like maybe. I'm like, there's simply nothing out there that has the delicious scent of maybe like something sweet, gourmand, vanilla, whatever, but with the packaging that isn't like, I'm not trying to knock Mrs. Myers, but her bold color palettes and font, like it's not giving what I want it to give. Like I want it to give Byredo, and it's giving like imagine Wendy's made a cleaning supplies company.
Yeah, no, 100%. I actually am like strongly considering cutting this out so we can come up with something because that's like, an excellent idea.
I mean, like honestly, like whether you do or don't, it is a really good idea. And
it's a great idea. Someone please make it for us.
I'm like, honestly, like, I'm like, wow. I'm like, do we cut it out? I don't know what's going to happen, but for the love of God, someone figure this out.
Someone please make it for us so we can just clean.
Because the laundress completely had a fallout with they were like shut down. So it's like, there's
laundress
a
like shit the bed, right?
No,
they had
100%.
Like toxic stuff.
Yeah, I remember, oh my God, I'll never forget. It really showed me like what kind of feral woman I am. I was walking around the street, and do you know Jenny Kane, the store? It's like, okay, so Jenny Kane, I walk into the store in Boston. It's never open during regular hours. It's always open like 12 to 4 on Saturday, on like Mondays, and then whatever. So I was there. I think I probably took a mental health day, if I know myself. And I walk in, and this woman working is just hoarding laundress, like little, the bottles that are like the laundress X Le Labo into this garbage can. And I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, girl, like these are bad. Like laundress is no more. Laundress is rip. And I was like,
oh my God.
Well, what's wrong with these? And she was like, I mean, I don't know. There's something wrong with them. And I like looked her dead in the eye. There was no hesitation. And I was like, can I buy them off of you? Like and she was like, sorry, what? And I was like, can I buy them? Like no hesitation. And she was like, what? And I was like, I don't care what's in them. Can I just have them? And she was like, no. And I literally like twitched and like,
give me that trash can.
I was like, give me that trash can. And I just was feral for like the Le Labo laundress detergent.
For fragrance.
Yeah.
Feral for fragrance.
Feral for
That's
fragrance.
Your memoir.
Feral for fragrance. Oh my God. Feral for fragrance. The Caroline Stern story. I'm like literally surviving Caroline Stern, the laundress story. I'm like, that's their memo. But honestly, like, but truly, I was like, in my gut, I was like, wow, there's nothing I won't do for something that's niche luxury, smell good category that I can't seem to find. So it's like laundry. I know we have like the Tyler Diva detergent and whatnot, but
yes, or like the sauce,
the Dead Cools and the sauce. But I'm like, where's
the home cleaning supply?
I'm like, where's the thing, the all surface cleaner?
Yeah, where's our vanilla orange blossom?
Oh my God. The things that I would do for a vanilla marshmallow orange blossom Oriana inspired surface cleaner.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We're going to make it.
I'm like, okay. I mean, seriously, like that's a really good idea.
It's a really good idea.
That's hot girl anthropology.
Hot girl anthropology, hot girl mental health, hot girl forecast. You really covered all of it. Caroline, thank you for being our on-the-ground reporter, our fearless leader, the queen of the niche luxury hot girl community concept and lifestyle. Is there anything else you want to say to the fans before we sign off today?
I just want to remind everyone to give themselves a hug today because
yes,
you might need one. And sometimes it's nice to just hug yourself because there's nothing more niche luxury hotness than just like taking care of yourself with the tools you have and not needing to outsource them, because that is being awakened by the cherubs maybe, and who knows whatever else. So like Go forth, get your mushrooms. Oh my God. We need to cut that. Get your mushrooms.
We're keeping it.
Okay, we can keep it. Responsibly and legally do whatever you need to do to feel good. Just get some very normal, appropriate.
She's talking about chanterelle mushrooms from Whole Foods. I'm talking about
chanterelle mushrooms. Get your delicious truffle pig sourced mushrooms and have a good spring in your mermaid core.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
We will see you in a few weeks.
Caroline, we love you. Thank you for being here today. And I will text you in 37 seconds.
Perfect. I love you. I will respond in 36 seconds. I love you.
I love you. We'll cut this here, but you're fucking amazing. I hope you laughed even half as much as I did today. And I know I mentioned a few times that things are happening that I can't share yet. They are exciting things, and I'm excited to tell you soon once it's all in motion, but there's a lot going on, and yes, I am overwhelmed, but there are good things in the pipeline, and I think you're going to be excited too. So stand by, hang tight, keep listening, and I will update you quite soon on all of that. Take this time to do your own mental health State of the Union. Bonus points if you do it with a friend. And if you can, carve out a little time for screen-free hobbies, maybe one you've been wanting to try, or at least maybe just jot down some ideas of what that hobby could look like. I'm so excited for you. I keep forgetting our This Is Mine segment. Sorry about that. Like I said, there's a lot going on in my brain and it's on overdrive. One thing to share with you this week is not the perfume we talked about before. It's a book. I'd recommend the audiobook edition read by the author. Go listen to Paris Hilton's audiobook edition of Paris, the memoir. It is literally phenomenal. It is not at all what you are probably expecting. It is emotionally intense, almost earth-shattering, to be honest. I gasped in horror at some of the things she's experienced. I'm not exaggerating. Some of this read like a horror script. I'm serious. Through it all, she is still a sparkly unicorn, and I absolutely love this woman. If you love the energy of this podcast, you will love this memoir. It is an absolute must-read, trust me, and it's, I think, a little more special hearing it in the author's voice. Okay, that's all for now, hot people. As Paris would say, that's hot. Go follow Caroline on TikTok. I love you all. A bientôt. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of This Is Fine. I've been your host, Dominique Michelle Astorino. We're based in San Diego, recording in studio at DLI Productions in Pacific Beach with Emmy Award-winning sound designer Dan De La Isla. This is a comedy and advice podcast, but for legal reasons, this entire podcast is a joke and none of it is medical advice. To download the transcript or learn more, visit thisisfinepodcast.com.